All right, let's go over a league that I played last night. We got the 5-0. Super lucky, but I'll take it. Let's talk about the deck list real quick. So, mostly pretty standard. I was running the Veil Summer for a while. I did take it out because I don't think it's necessary here because of how the sideboard is constructed. Because on the matchups where Veil Summer is really good, I think maybe it's better just to play big creatures like Murktide or Sholdred. We're playing Bowmasters now, all four, because Bowmasters is a problem, and it is probably the best solution to that problem, while also being good in other situations. Because I mean, like something like Fatal Push is like it's not even a 1-for-1 against Bowmasters. Uh, yeah, and the list. So we're playing Shoulders in the main board. I figured we needed potentially maybe another threat because 4 Doomsday and 2 Tutors doesn't always you don't always find it, and that's not always good enough, right? And some of the flex slots are cards that I don't think are very good necessarily, like Preordain. I mean, Preordain Legacy is kind of not amazing right now. Yeah, and the list otherwise is pretty standard. What's up, Bowser? What do you want? We are playing a Night's Whisper though. Night's Whisper main board. Just one. I'm not sold on it. It's not terrible. It's not amazing. It's just kind of sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. I don't know. But yeah, let's go over this league. Game history. First game was against Micah 1492, I guess. Potentially the oldest player on Magic online. I don't know. Yeah, so we lost to die roll. What does our hand look like? This hand looks kind of terrible. Yeah, we take them all. That hand's trash, and this hand, it has 0 lands in it. Oh boy. They mulled to 6 though. We're gonna go to 5. This hand's unplayable. Yeah, this is interesting. We do have a turn 1 Shouldered. The question is, do we want to wait a turn and make sure it's uncounterable? Probably not. I don't think. The Night's Whisper is also not amazing here. The Street Wraith isn't great either, but I don't know. My gut tells me to keep the Street Wraith. So, yeah, we just keep the mana, the Shouldered, the Street Wraith. All we do is bobble, nothing else. They don't want to fetch, they want to keep the card. Draw Force Will. Good. Interesting, right? Because if we cycle into another blue card, we have backup for Shouldered. And they're probably playing like a Delver style strategy with a blue fetch and a bobble. Look at that. We find another Force of Will. We're lucky. We're lucky, lucky, lucky. Pretty damn good 5-card hand, right? Yeah, we just go for Shouldered. They respond. They brainstorm. This is probably, yeah, just blue-red Delver. It sucks for us, whatever. They brainstorm. We let that one go. Then they daze. Well, we have the answer to daze. Yeah, it resolves. Let's hope it's good enough. And it turns out that it's looking pretty damn good. They don't play anything. They didn't even play a land, right? Or well, they dazed. Yeah, I mean, we just have a giant threat. They're already at 9. We have a brainstorm too. It's looking really good. They go to 5 and they just seek the beasts, try and find an answer. We brainstorm a response to draw a bunch of cards, gain life. And we have Doomsday on top, but like whatever. Looks like Shoulder's going all the way. They go to 3. They play a blocker, but they're at 3. They're going to go to 2. They can't fetch. We don't cast Doomsday because we just don't need it, right? And we also don't need to let them know that we're playing Doomsday. They probably know, but they might not. Yeah, they just don't find an answer. We win game 1. We beat Delver game 1. Game 2. Game 2, how does it look? Yeah. we bring in the creature package. We bring in all the bowmasters. We bring in the soldier. We bring in the 2 Murktides. We cut 2 Force of Wills. We cut Daze. We cut a land, a Doomsday, and a Cabal Ritual. And the tutors, right? Yeah, that makes sense to me, right? But we've opened a hand with Dark Ritual, Doomsday, and Brainstorm. If we knew they didn't have an interaction, this is a turn 2 win. Okay. They just do their bobble thing. We draw Bowmasters. I think we're just Island Ponder. Let's see if we find a Duress. Let's go. Run out the pedal. It's kind of innocuous at this point. Why not? Let's go. We hit him with the Duress. Are they going to Brainstorm again or what? No, they seek the beast, right? I think that's what they do. They seek the beast. They find Delver land, whatever. Yeah. And they Force of Will, pitching Murktide on a Duress. That's a little aggressive. That tells me that they probably have nothing else. Right? Could have gone for it, but I think they don't have any pressure on board, so we're not in a huge rush to go for it. Also, we have an answer to that Delver. Brainstorm in response. Kill the Delver. We're looking all right. Attack, they don't block, unfortunately. We just cast another Bowmasters. Try and force them to do something. They do. Whatever. We have another Bowmasters anyway. We're like chilling. They're kind of flooding too. This hurts, but this does hurt. We find a land off the top. They Pyroblast our Brainstorm, which is great because we have a Murktide in hands. And we're like, all right, let's go. Murktide time. Murk time. And we have a pretty fast clock. Just drawing a bunch of lands. We're getting really lucky here. We could cast Doomsday, but like we are also just kind of winning on board. And they Brainstorm out of like desperation, which is amazing for us. Our army's getting huge. Our clock is getting faster. We could have Bowmastered in response to their Brainstorm. We probably should have. I think I just missed it. But it's okay. Like, we're so far ahead. And they bobble us, so they really need to find an answer. We end step cast the Bowmasters. Our clock is ridiculous. We shoot one of the questing druids just in case. We don't want them to find a way to get back in the game with threats. Yeah, they just concede. They got nothing. Yeah, we beat Delver. Hell yeah, let's go. Garpona. See what's going on over here, Garpona. I lost a die roll. Okay. We keep a kind of a questionable hand. We can Brainstorm away the Thassa's Oracle if we have to, though. Yeah, we're getting islands just to be safe. We ponder. We do find a Thoughtseize, which is great. We put the Thoughtseize on top just so they don't Thoughtseize our Thoughtseize. Brainstorm, Trop. We don't really know what they're playing at this point. It could be Delver. We decide to keep the Oracle in hand. It does enable faster turns. They Brainstorm in response to our Thoughtseize, so that's getting dazed. And they're Storm. But they only have one action spell, right? That's what you call it. They just have a bunch of mana and Storm count. So we take the tutor, leave them with very little. We draw Force of Will. Great. Night's Whisper's good in this situation. We get to draw cards, the pedal and chill. I could also pedal and Duress, but... And they Cabal Therapy a Doomsday. Interesting. They know we're on Doomsday. but I don't know. Whatever. And we find the Doomsday right off the top, so we get lucky. With the rest, they got nothing. Yeah, I mean, we win the game, basically. We can win the game next turn. So the only it's basically a cycle pile. The only thing interesting here is that I put a Force of Will on top so that we can cycle into it to Force Will to stop them from winning on their turn. And they're also playing Storm, so I put Shoulders on the bottom just to hide them, because we can win with cards left in our library because they're not going to kill our Oracle. They concede. Yeah, it was game 1 against Storm. Game 2. Oh boy. Okay, we're on the draw. This hand is unplayable. This hand looks a lot better. Op Agent's great against Storm. Bowmasters is okay. Shoulders is okay. Thoughtseize is good, but the problem here is, like, if they have Veil, Thoughtseizes is so bad. That's why I start cutting them. I've been cutting Thoughtseizes against Storm. You guys tell me what you do, because I don't know. Yeah, and we're on the draw also, so Thoughtseize is just so much worse. We do keep it, though. We get a Personal Tutor because we have creature pressure. We don't need Doomsday wins. Also, we don't have mana for Doomsday. And there it is. They play the land that casts Veil of Summer. Thoughtseize is not getting cast. It's sitting in the hand. We do Bowmasters in response to their Brainstorm. They Veil it. This part's kind of interesting. I think they're supposed to Veil once we target them, though. I think this is a mistake, because now we get to grow our army really big. So the interesting here, kind of thing here, is that we target ourselves with the first one so that we can have an Orc army. And then with the other 3, you can target the Orc army and it won't die. So we'll have a lot of power on board. And they don't do anything on their turn. So it's looking okay. We play a Lotus Petal and then the fetch land, just so that we can make sure we can cast Op Agent in response to whatever happens when we fetch. Go to combat first. We don't attack with this thing because we don't want an Op Agent to block it. And then, yeah, we probably should have done this main phase by casting an Op Agent, but we were trying to get them off the Pluto Delta, because we go to end step, and then the problem here is that when we cast Op Agent, they have Dress Down, which means that they have Dress Down on their turn, shutting everything off here, which is terrifying. They're also at turn 4, so they should potentially have a way to beat us right now. But they don't. And we just continue attacking. We attack with everything this time because they didn't have Op Agent last turn. Or I guess they could have, but whatever. We go to combat. We don't cast Doomsday. There is no reason for our life total to get cut in half for them to easily kill us. We don't cast Thoughtseize because Veil. And so we just have Shoulder. We cast it just because, like, you might as well. There's no reason not to. And yeah. End step, they Dress Down again. So this is not good. And they cycle a Veil. That's interesting. That means they're probably looking for ways to win. They surgical our fetch land or something just to see our hand, which is also scary. So we know we're pretty much dead. The Infernal to get an LED. And now we're just dead, right? They just do the Storm thing. But I think they mess up. They told me in chat that they made the wrong color. I'm really confused here. Because I figured, why aren't they just casting Beseech, right? Storm counts 5. Why aren't they just beseeching it to Geisel? I don't know. I guess they're not playing it. Maybe they're playing Paradise. I don't know. They messed up. That's that. We beat Storm. We'll take it. Goif Daddy. Alright, Goif Daddy, what are you up to? Are we expecting Goifs? Our turn one hand is fine. It's fine. If we can find a quick Doomsday, we have a way to win fast. But, and we're on the play too. First time. But our opponent had other plans. Oops all spells. They're playing a deck even faster than ours. And it looks like they're just going for it. They have Summoner's Pact. What are they revealing, right? Spirit Guide, yeah. So they're just going for it. We daze. Maybe I think we're supposed to brainstorm first, but we daze. And then they just practice negation. So we're dead, right? Found Forceful, but no blue card. Yeah, we're dead. We just make sure they have the cards in their deck, and they do. We lose turn one to Goif Daddy. Alright, Goif Daddy. Sideboarding in this matchup is kind of weird, right? I don't think we side anything in. Force of Negation doesn't stop their combo. We're not playing surgicals. Like, we don't have answers. We just have to be faster or stop them from winning. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. A turn one win with Doomsday. They win turn one, we win turn one. So the land and the Thoughtseize are irrelevant, but these cards win in this order. Dark Ritual, Doomsday, cycle into Petal, Brainstorm, into the cards that win the game. And they mold a 5 too. I don't think they can stop us because they have like Pacted Negations. That's just they just die to that. So, yeah, we just go for it. So this pile. Okay, so Oracle's on the bottom. The 3 in the middle don't really matter. It needs to be Petal on top so that we cycle into Petal, cast Brainstorm. Right. Cycle into Petal, cast Brainstorm. Now you're going to put back a blank and then a Consider. And now you're going to cycle holding priority, crack triple blue. You're going to get into Consider. You're going to bin the top of the card that you put on bottom of it. And you just find Oracle and cast Oracle. We won on turn one. So turn one. There's been a total of 2 turns, I guess 3 turns in 2 games. Let's go to game 3. We're on the draw. Where's our hand? Our hand doesn't really win the game, but it kind of says, opponent, you can't win. So we keep it. We're not going to go to 6. Swarm, we have to counter Swarm. It's basically a Teferi. You don't beat that card. We're just going to Thoughtseize. Okay. So this is interesting. The take here is obviously not an Archamoeba, and it's not Summoner's Pact, right? We could take Agadiums to try to cut them off of mana, but that's a little risky. We could cut Ender City Informer, which is probably the correct play, because they can just go for it. But we're hoping that they do and don't have an answer to Daze, which is very risky, but it's what we went for. So we took Pact of Negation. It is very possible that you're supposed to take Undercity. I don't know, but we got lucky, obviously. They packed, they get the Spirit Guide, they go for it. We Daze. They have another pact, they get another Spirit Guide, but like they packed it already, so they can't win. They need to pay for days, so they don't have mana to pay for this. And they don't have mana to pay for the ability, so they can't win this turn. So they just die to their pack trigger. Good thing I caught that. And they just die. Okay, we beat Goif Daddy. That was game 3, right? Yeah. Fado. Alright, let's see what Fado's up to. I think we've played against this person before. Lost a die roll, great. Yeah, we keep. I mean, we have... Cavern's kind of shitty, but we have Ponder, Brainstorm, Fetch Land, Night's Whisper if we have to. And we don't keep, actually. Okay. Maybe I'm supposed to keep that hand, but we didn't. They also mulled to 6. That's fine. We still have Ponder and Thoughtseize. Why did I get rid of this? I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, Ancient Tomb Go is probably like a Stompy or a Prison deck. Both, essentially. Initiative, etc. Force Will is a good draw. I think we cycle Street Wraith. We find the Doomsday. We just need mana to cast it. And look at that. Dark Ritual and the lands. And we have Edge in hand. So we can win next turn, right? Yeah, we can win next turn. We leave Dark Ritual on top. So they don't make us discard it or whatever. Yeah, we just pass. They don't do anything. They just Ancient Tomb Go. So looks like we're safe to just go off. Yeah, we just Doomsday, and we're gonna build a pile of Brainstorm on top. I'll show you how this pile works. They concede though. I guess they probably have nothing in hand, but yeah, basically Brainstorm's on top. We draw Brainstorm, put Oracle on the bottom. We're gonna do the consider thing that you saw me do earlier. It's just a different order of cards, but essentially the same thing. That was game 1 versus Fado. Alright, game 2. So, this hand is kind of a trap hand, I guess. We have the Doomsday and we have the Cycler, but we have no way to do anything with it. And we also don't have answers to anything they do. So we just say no. This hand's also interesting because this is good as a 7, but as a 6, what are you pitching? There's an argument for Dark Ritual. There's an argument for Brazen Borrower, Thoughtseize. Second Dark Ritual is kind of unnecessary, but this is kind of cool because you can go Dark Ritual, Thoughtseize, Doomsday. Unfortunately, we're on the draw. So you are kind of maybe incentivized to keep Brazen Borrower to bounce the problem permanent. We could also get rid of Dark Ritual so we can go Thoughtseize and then bounce and then cast Doomsday, which may be the correct thing. But I decided to get rid of Brazen Borrower. You can also get rid of Basic Island, I guess. We get rid of Brazen Borrower. Kind of bites us in the ass, kind of not really, because I don't think there's a way to win this game anyway, and they just come Magus. And like, okay, great. We can't beat that. We have Basic Island at the very least, but we need a Basic Swamp like right now. And unfortunately, they go Chalice on 1. Yeah, they go Chalice on 1. So the Dark Rituals are off, Thoughtseize is off. Even if we find the Basic Swamp now, it's unlikely to happen. Luckily, their clock is pretty slow, so maybe we can draw something. We draw a Basic Swamp, okay, you know, there's a chance. But then they cast Rabble Master, and now their clock is really, really fast. I think we give it another turn just to see, but they cast another Rabble Master, and that's just crazy. I mean, turn 1 Magus into Chalice into Rabble to Rabble, like we're not going to beat that. We go to game 3. We're on the play. We doesn't cast Doomsday. I mean, doesn't have Doomsday. It doesn't have a way to win, but it does have the mana. And it does have a force of negation. And we are on the play. So we do keep it. It is risky though. I was not at all confident in this game. We cast the pedal because of Trinisphere effects, Chalice on 0, etc. But they just go land go. This is like amazing for us. When we find a blue card for the force negation, it's also daze. So we can brainstorm. And look at that. We find a Doomsday, a land in a battle. It's amazing. We don't need double lands. And we just cast Doomsday. We keep the pedals. Okay. Reason why we keep the pedals is so we saw that they play Magus. Pedal beats Magus. These two cards cast Oracle. Also, if we have this much mana, we can beat a Trinisphere. We can counter a Trinisphere, but this is fine. So we're just going to go a bunch of cyclers into a Thassa's Oracle. Yeah. We have everything we need to win the game. Hopefully they don't have some crazy turn that just kills us really fast, because we're going to be paying 4 life, so we're essentially at 5. But them doing 5 damage is very unlikely. And yeah, they Spirit Guide into a Trinisphere. And we just say, okay. We think about this for a second, but like this doesn't do anything. So we just let it resolve. You know, and we do the thing. Cycle, 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 win the game. Cool. GG's opponent. Game 3 versus Fado. Let's go to the final match. Shingro. Alright, Shingro. Game 1. Lose the die roll again. Whatever. Hand is fine. You know. We go Wasteland, so could be a couple things, could be a couple decks. But Wasteland turn 1 is kind of interesting. They might be cycling into a basic land, or any land, I mean. We found a Shouldered. At least we found some pressure. Basic Island Ponder. We find Thoughtseize, which is great. These other cards are fine. Land is fine. Brainstorm is fine, so awesome. But for some, but I guess we shuffle it. Why do I shuffle it? I guess I'm trying to find a faster way to cast Shouldered. And we also have more. We also have these, so I guess that makes sense. I don't know. There's an argument not for doing that, or for not doing that. They play the land they find, but they don't do anything, which is good for us. I think we cycle. Yeah, cycle. We found Oracle, which is terrible. We can brainstorm. It resolves. We do find the Thoughtseize that we wanted. Edge is kind of bad, I guess. Oracle's kind of unnecessary. Yeah, so we get rid of those 2 cards. We Thoughtseize. Cycle Swamp. Or Cycle Troll. They brainstorm, and now I do my daze thing. Can't let them protect themselves. Fix their hand. Okay, so they have another Wasteland. Sucks for these lands. We don't want to get griefed. But they only have 1 black card. And we can also beat Force of Will because we have a Force of Will. So the play here is, I think, take Bowmasters. So that's what we do. Also, we are getting close to threshold for Shouldered. This is important here. This is important. So even though we lost that land, we are 1 card away from getting Shouldered in play next turn. So they cast. So the card they find off the top is a Murktide. It's only a 5/5, but we really need that extra card for Shouldered. So we force it. Fuck it. Yeah, we cast Shouldered. We drew crap, but whatever, we cast Shouldered. We do know that the next couple cards are bad, right? It's an Oracle, and they've Wasteland us. Great. Play another Wasteland. They have 1 unknown card, right? We don't play this card because there's no reason. We have pressure. We're just hoping it's good enough. They cast Bowmasters, they can block with that. Blah, blah, blah. They don't block, though. They block this time. Just a bunch of turns of people passing, doing nothing, attacking, whatever. And we're drawing absolute garbage. Like, these are probably the worst 3 cards you can draw. They hold up the block, so that's a good sign for us. But they wasteland targeting their wasteland, which means they probably have a fatal push. And they do it under upkeep. Smart. So we lose our guy. Or her. We lose her. Shoulder's gone. Great. We draw land. And now we're in terrible shape. We're drawing garbage. And they have a reanimate on our shoulder, and that's just not going to happen. We're not going to sit around for that. We concede game 1. Our hopes and dreams are slowly dwindling. But we go to game 3, or game 2. Game 2. We're on the play. Bowmasters, Pedal, Daze. It's fine. It's not really a Doomsday hand, but like, it's okay. We almost skipped through our turn by accident. Yeah, we just play Pedal so we can play Bowmasters if they like brainstorm or something. They grief us though. We expect them to take Daze, but they take Bowmasters, which means that they're probably going to try and reanimate next turn. And we draw a basic swamp. Meh. We cycle Troll. They don't do anything. They pass, so they're probably holding up Bowmasters, huh? We did find a Doomsday. We can't Daze an answer to it, so we just pass, I think. Even though they might not even know we're playing Doomsday. They don't cast their Bowmasters. They know we have one. Seems pretty obvious. But they're not doing anything. And we draw Thoughtseize, which is great. This is the perfect card to draw right now. They force a negation it. Which is kind of aggressive, but that tells me that they probably don't have anything. So we just cast a Doomsday. And we use the Pedal because if we have a land in our pile, it's easier to get to. We lose less life, I guess. It's just one less. It's essentially one less card in your pile. So Edge, Cavern, Oracle, Basic Island. It is a 2-turn pile, but we do have Bowmasters to try and help us stay alive a little bit longer. They ponder. They find a land. They pass a turn. We're getting really lucky here, right? We don't go for it yet because we can't get Cavern if we do that. Or I mean, we can't get Oracle at all, actually, because Oracle's on the bottom. Or it's behind Cavern, I guess. We edge in response, and the reason we're doing this is so they obviously don't grief away our edge. They can't grief away the Cavern, so that's fine. We just put a Cavern in our hand. Trigger on the stack, we're going to cast the Bowmasters with the floating mana. We're going to ping that thing just because why not, I guess. In case they ponder, we can shoot it because their life total is irrelevant. They take our Daze. The only thing they can take. And now we have 2 cards left. They reanimate Troll. They have a clock, but like, whatever. Basically got lucky. Cast Thought's Oracle with 1 card left, but we have the fetch land. So we can beat their removal, which is exactly what they have when they had Petty Theft, but like whatever, we just fetch. And we win the game. We win game 2 versus Shingro against the Blue-Black Scam. Going to game 3. Final match of the league. Let's go. We're on the draw. How's our hand look? Hand looks okay. Yeah. We keep it. There's 7 when we're at 7, whatever. They don't do anything. They're potentially cycling. But we also don't really. So I cast Consider on my turn because I don't want to get Bowmaster did. Basic Islands to protect it from Wasteland. We don't want that because we need land. We need swamps. We don't find a swamp, but we find another cantrip. They brainstorm. They grief us. They take the days. And then they're going to do it again and take the Murktide. So we don't have any threats. What do we draw? We find a Street Wraith, which finds us the land we needed. Kind of. We're going to brainstorm. Yeah, look at that. We find Dark Rituals and Doomsday. So I think what we do is... This is what we do? Yes, we do this so that we can double Doomsday. But they decide to just counter our Dark Ritual, I guess because it's a force negation and they know we play Shouldreds. We lose our land. This isn't looking good. This is not looking good at all. We drop Bowmasters. At least they don't have giant threats on board, but we are dying. We find the land. We find the land. We do still kind of have to hope they don't have anything. But yeah. We can beat a daze. What does our pile look like? It took me a while to figure out how I wanted to do this. I think I settled on having a pile that wins next turn. Or if for some reason I have an extra turn, I can win the next turn with a cavern. They have too much pressure on board because we're going to go to 4. And then if they hit us, we're going to go to 1. I'm going to cast Bowmasters. It does resolve. They petty theft, so yeah, exactly. They're going to hit us. Luckily for us, they petty thefted then. Because if they did it later, we would have lost. We just got really lucky, basically. A situation like this, we're probably going to lose most of the time. And yeah, our opponent didn't have anything. They had to brainstorm, and they didn't find an answer. We won the game, 5-0 in the league. That's great, man. This is the list again. I think we got 5 trophies now. Yeah, dude. Let me know in the comments if you think I should change anything. What do you guys like? What do you guys not like? And yeah, thanks, man.